Saw something this morning that just impressed me all day. Y'all know I look at the little things, and not sure what this was, but I guess I'm just a simpleton and take awe in God's creation and things. Looked out across the pasture, and there was a cloud on the ground, literally, with little hints of red poking up every now and then. I was like, my goodness. Those of bird watchers will know it was a big old cloud of red-winged blackbirds. Just looked like poetry in motion, hundreds of them, as they gleaned the field that was brown for seeds on their journey, surely, up toward the north. Of course, they migrate down south in the winter, and I guess they know more than we do. But I sat there a minute and actually stopped the truck and videoed it for myself, just as a reminder. There's an old boy a couple of thousand years ago, an old tax collector from Capernaum, and he was walking with the Creator, and he recorded the words right from the mouth, as a country boy would say, right from the horse's mouth, if you would. He said, why do we worry? You know, even the birds of the air don't worry about where their next meal's coming from. And they sure wasn't, were they? There's a big difference in planning and preparedness versus panic and reaction. And sometimes I forget that. I guess it's because those walls never knew panic in that house. Gardening and just having things to eat and on hand for later was a way of life. So I guess panic is a little foreign to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about planning and preparing for things to be, but I was thinking about them old birds. They probably don't even know it's an election year, or that there's a lot of doom and gloom going on Facebook, and little Johnny ran off with Susie, and they have no clue. They know who made them. They go to bed each night, get up and migrate a little further and eat what's on the way, because good Lord said he'd provide, and that's what they do. Us humans are a little different cat. We have to need to understand everything, don't we? Some things are just beyond our understanding. In fact, he told us not to lean to that understanding, to trust him. But he calls us to be smart. I think it's pretty prudent to store up some things for a short-term disaster, but we live in a life of convenience, and that's okay. It's our lot. It's our walk. A couple of 100 years from now, we'll just be names and faces on stone and pictures on a wall, and something else will have taken over. There's a constant trust in him. That's how I see it. Heard a recounting of a little girl and a father was going to cross a raging river on a rickety bridge, and there was a little look of fear on the father's face, worried that the little girl would fall in on their journey across. So he asked the little girl to hold his hand while they went across the bridge, and the little girl, before they got started, refused, said, no, Dad, you hold my hand. Perplexed, he said, well, what's the difference, baby? She said, well, Daddy, if something scares me, I may let go of your hand. But if you hold my hand, I know I'll be safe, because you won't let go. That's how the good Lord is. Let him hold our hand. Because so oftentimes we let go of his because we see the waves are crashing and the turmoil around us, and we think we need to figure it out and get off the boat or run or store up a bunch of food or whatever we need to do. He said, no, just hold to me. Hold to me. Be like the birds of the field. Them old Israelites, they kept moving, but they tried to store up a little manna when they was in the wilderness. It was full the next day, because the good Lord knew he'd have some fresh provisions for them the next day. That's all we got right is this moment. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to live willy-nilly. You need to do a little planning, a little preparation, but do it because it's just that week's food stores. Learn how to grow a tomato and what it takes to